Hey Scruffy, how you doing? Quiet tonight, huh? Okay, there's a really quiet meow. So I have your super supper with kibble and the full dose of the earth. Sound good? No, you're not very active tonight. Well, I guess I'll just bring out the food then. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up the plate now. So you've been running away from me past few nights. So you don't seem very eager tonight, so I'm assuming you're gonna do the same. Okay, coming out. So I'll put the food on the table. Is that a hiss? Ooh. Okay, we're not done bringing out the water. Okay, so you changed your pattern. So usually I bring out the water and then you move. Okay, so I'm going to change the water. Oops. Okay, so your new water. There we go. And I'm going to sit down on the chair. I'm going to put my glove down and let you come to me. So there's some meows. Okay. It's better. So, don't really understand your behavior recently. So, it's been over 9 months now. Thinking you'd know the routine. Seem to like the head rub. Oops. So the weather remained cool. So I thought it was supposed to heat up today, but instead it was just maybe a tad warmer than yesterday. So it was really nice today. So it's not hot at all, not really cold at all either. It's just kind of that perfect middle ground. So there's a little bit of a wind. Sun is perfectly clear though, so you do have to worry about sun exposure, but the ambient temperature, you actually might need a light sweater or heavier shirt or something if you want to stay out there for a period of time. So I decided to go on a bike ride today, and I decided to finally tackle the hardest, steepest, longest of the hills that I've been talking about. So I figured not going to probably see many days weather-wise like this, because the problem with that climb is it's, in addition to really being really hard, and wow, you rubbed against my leg. So yeah, so basically in addition to being long and very steep and very hard, it's also an exposed mountainside, so If you're in the hot sun, it makes it much, much worse. So we have the sun today, but it wasn't nearly as hot as it's going to get as summer approaches. And I've been worried that we're not going to see many more spring days because we didn't really get any this year. Kind of went right from winter to summer. So, since I've been having a pretty good week physically, so I did my longest run this week ever, and did a 2-hour bike ride a couple days ago. Thought, I probably can take on the mountain. It's a hard climb though. So to get there, to the base of the climb, it's actually a 50-minute ride just to get there, and it's a lot of uphill. In fact, when I talk about the 3 hard hills I've been climbing for the past few months, the second one, so there are 2 on the exposed mountainside, and then there's a 3rd one that's on the other side of the valley. So the second one is the most technical of the routes. Has some very steep parts, and I think it goes up the highest. So that one you have to go up just to get to the bottom, or the beginning of the hard climb that I'm talking about. So if you get all the way up the second hill, then you have the path splits basically, so you can either go back the way you came, you can go back down the other side, or you can keep going straight up into the next climb. And so that's what I did today. And boy, that was tough. So right at the start of the climb, there are 2 really steep climbs. So steep, in fact, that I actually am not able to ride up the grades. I think they're over 20% incline. And if I had a better bike, I think I could do it, but just barely. They're really tough. There was actually another person right in front of me, and he was able to climb up the hills without walking. So it's definitely doable, but I think it requires a better bicycle than I have. So he had a little bit of a pot belly. So not to take anything away from him, he's obviously very strong to do that climb. But I think I'm actually now in better shape than he is. And I couldn't do it on my bike, and I know that I don't have the gearing on my bike, and my bike is like really heavy compared to like modern bikes. And then the center of mass is kind of not ideal on my bike because on very steep inclines my front tire comes up, and then on top of that I actually have street-oriented tires on my bike because I do a lot of street riding, and so I don't do a lot of off-road stuff, so the street tires seem to make more sense. But for this type of climb, I could use better treads. So anyway, we were kind of leapfrogging each other up the mountain the whole way. So it's about 50 minutes. So I said it's about a 50-minute ride to get to the start of the ride, and then it took me another 55 minutes or so to get to the very top from there. So that's a long ride, and it's grueling the whole way. So I would take breaks every now and then he would come past me, and then and then he would take a break, and then I'd pass him, and just kind of doing that up pretty much the whole way. And yeah, the mountain doesn't relent just when you think you're getting close to the top. It's like, nope, psych. There's a whole another section you got to do, and so it just keeps going and going and doesn't seem to end. So you ready for food, Scruffy? I think we're about time here. So you've been relatively calm, considering you've been kind of afraid of me. Not sure why. Okay, let's get you your food, okay? Oops. Okay, picking up the brush. So I'll try to be fast. Okay, switch brushes. So okay, so I'm going to flip to the soft side. Just the brush. Okay, I'm done. So when I got to what I thought was the top of the mountain, so there's actually another set of trails at the top of the mountain. So there's actually a lot of other things you can do if you want to get to the top. And the trails split, and so I was trying to figure out which way to there's a parking lot. So there's a main road at the very top of the mountain, and then there's a parking lot for visitors to take in the view and also go into the park from the top. I've been there before because I've biked up the main roads. Those are really tough too. They're so tough, that's why I was interested in doing this other route, because this route at least has switchbacks, so it's designed for people to go up, whereas the main road is designed for cars, so it can be steeper. And then the other problem with roads is you got to deal with cars, and they don't like getting hit by cars. So anyway, I get to what I thought was the top, and then I was looking for the park, and I couldn't figure it out from the signs. So the trails went in all different directions, and they didn't recognize, or they actually didn't have the parking lot listed, or what I thought that was the name of the park, or I thought they were the vantage point. Fortunately, there were some people up there, so I just finally asked a couple guys, and they were kind of confused. It's like, yeah, you're here. I'm like, oh, well, where's the parking lot? And they're like, oh, yeah, go. Trying to explain it to me, and then basically, yeah, they pointed me in the right direction, and I learned, it was still about a half-mile climb from the top, so there was still another half mile of climbing to do, even from that point. So when I prepared my route beforehand, I was checking up some online sites with maps and stuff. The estimate I think was a 35-minute climb, not 55 minutes, which it took me. And so I think one, the thing was overly optimistic, but two, I think they were also not counting that last half-mile climb as part of the route. And I didn't realize it was that far. It looked really close to me on the map. I didn't get a good sense of the scale. But I made it, and so that was 50 minutes to get to the base, 55 minutes to get to the top. And I brought a second water jug with me, and a good thing because I did need it. But it did weigh me down quite a bit. And so I have one of those thermoflasks, or two of those thermoflasks, a big one and a small one. So they're not exactly light, but they keep your water cold. And since my focus has been more weight loss than actual distance or travel or endurance type things, extra weight is not necessarily a bad thing, but pushing myself today, I'm kind of at the limit. So I was feeling the weight. I'm actually really sore right now, but my legs are a little bit sore, as you might expect, but I'm actually more sore in my shoulders from my backpack, carrying all the weight up the mountain. So I carry the water jugs, and I carry emergency stuff, pump and tools and extra things in case something bad happens to me and I need to work my bike or something. So then I rode back down after a quick water break and taking in the view. And then I went down the different side of the mountain. So there are two sides of the mountain you can take. So one's longer but not quite a steep path, but they're still ridiculously steep. I had to, I think, so there are multiple parts where it goes over 20 degrees incline. And there were 4 sections I had to walk. I just couldn't pedal up. I kept losing traction and slipping. And basically falling. And then there's a shorter section that's even steeper. So I went down that side just because I wanted to see it. But I was actually a little disappointed going down. I thought going down would be more fun, but the problem is it's so steep and it's so rocky, and it's a lot of loose dirt. I'm basically riding the brakes all the way down, and my brakes aren't very good, so my hands are really getting tired holding the brakes all the way. And then I'm actually sliding because of the loose dirt, and so there are a couple times where I was like almost losing control because my tire would skid. So probably should have went down the way I came because it's slightly less steep, but only slightly, so probably actually been the same problem. But I kind of wanted just to see it, so I'll probably never climb up that section. It's too steep, at least on this bike. And it only took me 10-15 minutes to get down the mountain. It seemed really short. It actually seemed shorter than 10-15 minutes. It seemed like 5, but I checked my watch, and it was longer than I thought. And I did stop to take in the view every here and there, just see where I was. And so I get down, finally take one last water break, and then I gotta bike home. So it's like another 30-minute ride. So that was a 2-hour and 40-minute ride today. So, pretty intense ride. can finally cross that off my bucket list. Though actually I do want to go back up and try some of the other trails, and then I would like to try going back down the way I came, just to see if it's a little bit easier. Though honestly, I'd actually like to get a new bicycle that's more suited for this type of ride. But yeah, I don't think that's on the cards anytime soon. But yeah, I think it'd be a lot more fun with a better bicycle. But yeah, as I got to the bottom of the 50-minute climb, or 55-minute climb, so the second climb, some other people were going up. There were two girls on these kind of like mountain bike e-bikes, so big fat tires, and they're like electrical powered, and yeah, they were just zooming up the mountain, like, no problem. So yeah, I need one of those. And then there were, I think, 3 guys behind them that were on non-motorized bikes, but they had modern bikes, so they had like the gearing options that I need, and so I could see their granny gears were huge, and so they were probably going to make it up the mountain much easier than I did. So I saw a snake on the trail slithering basically across the narrow trail that I was on in front of me. So I got a little freaked out there for a second. But it was a small snake and didn't seem to have a rattle, so. And it was ahead of me, so I think it was trying to get, just across the trail and get into the brush. So. I think he ate it all. He's done cooked tonight. Actually, no, not that quick. But yeah, he's not sticking around. Okay, folks, I guess that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.